First of all, I've just been handed a note. Steve gave up eating meat for Lent, and his chicken will be on auction in the lobby afterwards. And see Mike Torrey if you're interested in bidding on any of that. And also, I'm at a disadvantage. Bob Lammer told me this was a roast. So there's not a lot I can tell you anymore. Pierce awake? In 1968, the Zeeland Board of Education, perhaps by recommendation of Ken Lewis, took a gamble and hired a local boy by way of West Ottawa High School and Hope College, son of Frank and Lois Piersma, as a middle school PE teacher and freshman football coach. It's not uncommon with a new hire. They probably wondered what else this gentleman could do besides teach. And I'd like to take just a moment and ask you to participate with me if you would. If you played any sport for Pierce in your lifetime, would you raise your hand and keep your hands up for just a couple of moments? If Pierce was a teacher of yours, could you join us and raise your hands? If you were a coaching colleague or a teaching colleague of Pierce, could you raise your hands? If you had a child who played on a team for Pierce, if you consider yourself a friend of Pierce, if you'd be willing to buy Pierce a drink after the banquet, would you raise your hand? Pierce didn't think anyone would remember him. See that, Pierce? The amount of lives that Pierce has touched through wrestling to football, baseball to softball, boys track to girls track, middle school to high school, 81 seasons of coaching, 38 years in football alone. The amount of lives he touched is staggering. And if you add to that 32 years of being a science teacher and a PE teacher, I'm sure the numbers rival in the thousands. In 1968, the Zeeland Board of Education took a gamble, and they won. And we won too because we got Pierce. And so, to a former teacher of mine, and a former coach of mine, and a former coaching colleague of mine, and a friend forever, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the 2019 Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Stephen F. Piersma.
Well, I don't know if they saved the best for last, but I know they saved the oldest for last. First, I'd like to thank Deck for that glowing introduction. And I would like to thank the committee for my nomination and for supplying this beautiful venue. I'd like to recognize some of the head football coaches I've worked under, numerous assistant coaches who've worked with me, athletic trainers, athletic directors, and especially the athletic secretaries, and make sure everything runs smoothly. After coaching for 41 years at Zeeland, covering 81 seasons, over 5 decades, there are a lot of numbers out there. There are a lot of stories. Yes, I did call 3 double reverses in a row. And yes, we did have a full contact scrimmage during one halftime of one game. But more importantly, I've had the opportunity, the privilege, the honor, and the great pleasure of coaching some of the finest young men and women to walk the halls of Zeeland Public Schools. By my conservative estimate, some 2,400 student athletes. Among those are doctors, lawyers, builders, sports writers, members of all branches of the armed forces, college athletes at all divisions, bankers, musicians, nurses, coaches, teachers, principals, plumbers, realtors, truck drivers, landscapers, ministers, professional athletes, friends, mothers, fathers, and probably more than a few great-grandparents. Behind every successful man is a great woman. I was blessed to have Gracie's love and support for 37 wonderful years. I thank her for always having my back, and I know she's proud tonight. Again, thank you for this honor.